The stunning Landslide by Fleetwood Mac, written by Stevie Nicks, released in 1975. This is a beautiful, beautiful song, and it's an absolute joy to play on guitar. Today we're looking at the classic rhythm finger picking pattern. Starting with the intro and verse picking patterns, we need 3 chords. We are only going to be playing the middle 4 strings for each of these chords at this time. So we have a C, a G/B, or G over B, and an A minor 7. Playing with our capos on fret number 3 today, we're also going to be using the classic Travis style picking pattern that plays throughout the song. Breaking this pattern down using our first chord, which is a C, we have our thumb sitting by the A string, index finger by the G, middle finger by the B. Keep them as close to hovering around this position as possible throughout the picking pattern. The thumb is going to play the A string first, the index plays the G string, thumb comes down to play the D string, middle finger plays the B, thumb comes back up to play the A, index to play the G, and thumb finishes the pattern on the D. So thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb. A, G, D, B, A, G, D. The second chord we move to here is the G/B, and we play the same picking pattern on the picking hand. Moving to the A minor 7 chord, we play the same picking pattern again. And the 4th chord, we move back up to the G/B chord. Again, C, G over B, A minor 7, G over B. This is an excellent part of the song to get used to this picking pattern on, because we only use the middle 4 strings on our picking hand, and the chord changes are a nice fluid pattern. So speeding that up a little bit. The verse and the intro repeat this 4 chord sequence. Working on your fluency, keep the movements on your picking hand as small as possible. The thumb's really what drives this picking pattern, so getting used to isolating the thumb section and looking at it like a bass line. And then adding in the chord tones to add the colour and the richness. The song's in 4/4, and this is a 4-bar chord sequence. So we have C, 1, 2, 3, 4, G over B, 2, 3, 4, A minor 7, 2, 3, 4, G over B, 2, 3, 4. This 4-bar chord sequence cycles for all the verses in the intro. We have a couple of variations on the chord patterns that denote certain parts of the song. So this one comes on the last line of verse 1. Instead of returning to G/B, plays half a bar A minor 7 and half a bar G/B. So we play thumb, index, thumb on the A minor 7 and thumb, index, thumb on the G/B. So that's A string, G string, D string, A string, D string, G string. Playing that whole line. C, G/B, A minor 7, A minor 7, G/B. A playthrough of verse 1. I took my love, I took it down. at verse 2, we do exactly the same again. Again, the variation on the last bar, this time isn't A minor 7 to G/B, it's D/F sharp, which segues into the chorus. So D/F sharp is this chord here, index finger 2nd fret E, middle finger 2nd fret G, 3rd finger 3rd fret B, and the picking pattern we apply, still Travis picking. Our thumb comes to the E string, index still on the G string, thumb jumps down to the D string, middle finger on the B string, thumb back up to the E string, index finger G string, and thumb finishes on the D. So playing that as the last line of verse 2, we go from C to G/B to A minor 7 and to D/F sharp. That's such a beautiful chord change. Moving on to the chorus now. Introducing 3 new chords for the chorus. We're bringing in a G. This one's just the 3-finger G because we're going to be using that E string. A D7/F sharp and an E minor. The picking pattern changes slightly because we're going to be incorporating different strings. There's a variety of guitars on the recording of the chorus of this song, so I've picked out the notes that give the character. We're still playing the Travis style picking pattern, but we are incorporating with the G chord and the E minor chord, the high E string also. The picking pattern for the G plays thumb on the low E, index finger on the G string, thumb comes down to play the D. I then play with my 3rd finger or ring finger, the high E. You can play this with your middle finger if that suits. I like the finger independent, so I use my 3rd finger. We then come back up with the thumb to play the low E, and then index finger plays the G and thumb plays the D. So in one go. Moving on to the D7/F sharp, we have our thumb still on the low E. We have our index finger on the G, thumb comes down to play D, middle finger B string, thumb back up to play E, index finger G, thumb finishes on D. Moving on to the E minor chord, we revert and play the picking pattern we did for the G chord. So thumb on the E, index finger G, thumb down to D, 3rd finger high E, thumb up to low E, index finger G, thumb D. So putting those first 3 chords together, we play E minor twice here. We then move to the C. So this next part of the chord sequence is as the verses. We have the C, same picking pattern, G/B, A minor 7, all the same picking pattern as the verses, but the final chord we return to a D/F, which we did going into the chorus. We repeat the chorus playing G, D7/F sharp, E minor twice, C, G over B, A minor 7, and as we did on the final line of the verse 1, we do half a bar A minor 7 and half a bar G/B. A playthrough of the chorus. I've been afraid of changing. Time makes you bolder. I'm getting older too. We've now covered the main components of the song that we need. So talking structurally, we have an introduction, verse 1, verse 2, chorus. We then have a guitar solo that is the verse, chords and picking pattern 4 times round. We then move on to a chorus for the second time. After this, we have a third verse, which then ends the song and does something a little different to bring us to the end. When we get to the wind down section at the end of verse 3, we have the line, and if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, the landslide bring it down. They repeat that line again, she repeats that line again. So on that second time, we go, and if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills. So there's a single pick of all 4 strings in the middle on the G/B chord on the word hills. And then we pick up that pattern again, when the landslide bring it down. The song ends on an A minor 7 chord. Here's a playthrough of the intro, verse 1, verse 2, and the chorus so you can see how this sounds when it's put together. I took my love, I took it down. Saw my reflection brought me down. Child within my heart, sail through the changes. Afraid of changing. Time makes you bolder. In this lesson here, I'll show you how to play the intro to Jolene by Dolly Parton. If you're enjoying your Travis picking, this is a belter. See you next time.